Hey dear, what's up? Yes. Alright, you guys, this show that shall not be named is so annoying because now that we've said the name of the show a bazillion times, YouTube thinks I want to see more shows of it. So it keeps pushing me these clips of that show that we will not name. Yes. No, you can sharpen that pencil over there.
It's the Minecraft Cube sound.
Okay, can I get everything off of your tables? Backpacks, whatever you got, except for your worksheet. We have a lot of tools. Shush, babies. We have a lot of tools that we're going to use today. I'm going to teach you how to use tortillas and how to use proper pencils. We're going to start a new drawing today, but we have to finish a few parts of this worksheet before we can go on to that. Okay? Now I can see as I'm looking around, some of you might have gone on a little bit further, but even if you have already done something or tried something, I need you to listen to the words that I'm teaching you because this is everything. This is everything that you need to know about shading today. This is going to apply to not just this, but all the other sections of this worksheet, every media you're ever going to use, but also sculpture, okay? Understanding light and darkness is crucial when learning how to draw. Are we ready? All right, here we go. Those of you at home watching this video, I'm showing an old video while I'm drawing, so just ignore what you're hearing. I'm recording myself shading while you guys do this. We're going to try one more thing today, and then we're going to put it all together. Okay? So Cameron, eyes up front. Why can't you hear that? So last time, remember we talked about how important it is to hold your pencil correctly so that you can get the right leverage to get dark darks. We also talked about how to hold it at the end to get lighter values where there's less, pressure. We also talked about how we're supposed to use the side of the pencil instead of the tip of the pencil. Okay? The tip of your pencil, how you write with, like, for language, for words, that's a really great way to get edges. Okay? Now, I need everybody to put their pencils down and everybody to see this. Okay? Everybody stop what you're doing. We're going to do one of these. We're going to do this one. Okay? So this one right here, this is everything. Okay? It's everything. This is everything you need to learn how to do when it comes to shading. There are two big skills that you need to learn with shading, aside from craftsmanship stuff. But when you're doing value, you need to have gradient, so it's a smooth transition in value. Everybody see that smooth transition? Dream, look up here, please. It's dark on the right side, and as you go to the left side, it gets lighter until it finally reaches the white of the paper. Everybody see that? It's the same thing on the opposite side. On the bottom half of the triangle, it goes from dark on the left side, and it gradually and very smoothly, like butter, transitions into white. Eyes up front, Skylar.
Everybody stop what you're doing and look up here. Now, we understand how to get gradient, right? We did that last time. The hard part is knowing when in your drawing you need a smooth transition and when you need a hard transition. Does everybody see that? Okay, so the transition from dark here to lights here are very, very crisp. So that is where, when you have contrast, that is where you have a line. So I want everybody really quickly to look right here. See, so many of you put your pencils down. Everybody hold your little baby hands. Y'all not be trusted. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line. Now, when you don't do it, but you're just watching me do it, and then you will do it. I've got a line here. Okay? Our job, do you guys remember what we're supposed to do with lines when we shade? What do we do with lines? Not have them. Get rid of them. Which means that we kind of want to start with a light line because in some areas you might have darks and you might have lights. Okay? So when we're shading, we want light lines. That's the first thing. Okay? The second thing is that for us to be able to disguise this line, to get rid of it, we want to feel it, but we don't want to see it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a gradation on the top side. Okay? And I'm going to start dark, and I'm just very smoothly going to be transitioning out to the light values. Okay? Everybody go ahead and do that with me. Just the top. We're going to start nice and dark. And remember, Take your time. You can
Yeah, if you
turn
want to
the
get a drawing
paper
board,
to
you
go
can
with
get a
the
drawing board
movement
too.
of your hand. Okay? But we're trying to make it gradually go from dark to light on the top triangle. We're starting with that top triangle. And when I'm doing the lighter ones, remember I like to put my finger at my hand at the end. Really make it as light as possible. And then I'll go back in and beef up the darker areas by putting more layers. Remember, if you've got streaks, you should be holding your paper or your pencil a little bit lower and moving it so that you're using the side of the pencil. If you're getting lines, you're using too much of the tip of the pencil. If you go dark, too dark, darker than you want to go, how do you erase? Tapping. Tapping is the best way to erase with pencil, because if you erase, then you end up with a hole. And then when you try to fill in the hole, you end up with a really dark outline to the hole. Now remember, this gradient should always be looking like it's moving. Okay, it should not look like it's got two values. It should look like it has all 9 of our values. So really dark darks and really light lights, and make sure that those blend softly into each other, very gradually. Oop, I went too dark, so I'm going to tap it up. Okay, do you guys have the top triangle done? Okay.
Are you guys good
I
on
get
the top?
everybody, if you don't have it done, just look up here, cross your hands.
Everybody stop.
Okay? I want to teach you guys a truth about
Look up top.
contrast. Right here, I have a line.
Okay.
Gus, I need everybody.
I need everyone to stop what you're doing. This is so important, kids. This is the important part with contrast. Here we go.
His eyes and body is looking up here. Okay? On this line, if I do dark on the left side of the line, and I do the right side of the line, maybe a light value, see how I can still see where that line is. There's contrast there. Does everybody see that? If I do dark on the left side, and I do dark on the right side, can I see my line anymore? No, that does not work. If I do light on the left side, and I do light on the right side, can I still see my line?
Yeah.
Because that's not going to work. Our job is to get rid of all of the lines. Okay? So what we need is we need contrast. So anywhere on your picture where you have a line that you're drawing, whatever that may be, one side has to be darker, significantly darker than the other side. Okay? When we were doing our values up here, remember how I asked you guys to make sure that there was contrast between each box? This is us practicing contrast. This is us practicing smooth, buttery gradient. Okay? So now everybody look right here at your picture that we just shaded. I can still see my outline right in this area. So my problem right here is here. I have a light on one side and I have a white on the other side, and I can still see my line. Everybody make sense? So it makes sense here, to disguise that line, I've got to go darker on the other side of it. Okay? So now we're going to gradate from left to right, from dark to light. Okay? Now our goal is to disguise that line. Go ahead and try that out. Now I'm gonna do mine a little bit badly on purpose to teach you guys a lesson. So just know I'm gonna touch back in with you soon. Yes.
Can I come right back to him?
You just can't talk, but you can be in here. Welcome, dear. Okay, everyone to stop what they're doing. I need everyone to look right up here, please.
Look,
Hands crossed, everybody's eyes up here. Now right here I've got great contrast. You guys see that? It's very easy to see the edge. I can feel that edge because there's good contrast. Over here I can see good contrast, but I have intentionally left it ambiguous in the middle. Do you see how difficult it is to see the edge there? That's because the two mediums are touching. So what I have to do is I have to press. I can get that line in there. This is a good way to crispen things up, to get that line visible, but then you got to disguise it and gradate. So I need to go further with my darker darks on both sides so that it barely touches on a crisp line. Does that make sense, everybody? If you can't see your edge, it means you don't have enough contrast. So you have to make one or both sides lighter or darker. You have to observe. Okay, so try to go ahead and finish this one. I want to be able to feel the line on both sides. I want to be able to see clear contrast between the two sides. I want to see like milk honey gradient. It needs to be really so smooth. Now you can see the top of my head from time to time. That's because it's really important to get in there and really see what you're doing. You guys, as I'm getting older, I'm starting right now to need bifocals. Where instead of going close to something to see it in focus, I have to back up. It's kind of weird. If you went outside the lines, clean that up. Yes.
What about the cut my finger?
Oh, you're fine. If you want a Band-Aid, you can use a Band-Aid, but I think you're fine. Like this? So on the bottom is dark on the left, and on the top it's on the right, the dark side. Okay? How many of you guys can see clear contrast? You're seeing it. This box right here is money. This box is everything you need to know about gradating. It's everything you need to know about contrast. So now we have to apply it. Okay? I'm going to come around and I'm going to give each of you a blending stub, and I'm going to teach you how to use the blending stubs. Okay? These are new this year. We're going to have to open all of these bags. You hear that? Everything's wrapped still. So go ahead and open it up. Divvy the tools out. We're going to go over the tools. Open everything and
Go ahead and open those up. Yeah. Go ahead and dump it out.
throw it away.
If there's still plastic on your stuff, you can throw the plastic away.
So, you guys, I don't want these tools going from one table to the next. The 4 people at your table can use those tools. Okay? I do not want you guys mixing them up.
Take them
Look
out.
how tight these are. They're totally full, so you can't stuff more in here than what it came with. So I got these off Amazon for us. Do not use them. Please do not use them. I'm going to teach you the right way and the wrong way. I just want to go over the tools that are inside. So go ahead and take everything out, and we'll take a look at it.
Just make a pile in the middle so everyone can access all the tools. We're not hoarding the tools for ourselves. We're sharing 4 to a table.
You guys, whatever. We'll just keep them all out. I kind of want to keep, whatever. Fine. This came with a lot, y'all. This is good. Oh, I want to keep these separate. I just ordered some of these. I didn't know these came in this. So this stick right here, you guys, this is to make short pencils longer. Let's see. Does anyone know how to use it?
Yeah, I have one. You take this,
Do I unscrew or re-screw?
you just take the little erase and it'll never let you down. It's really fun.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, thank you. Alright, you guys, on each end is a ring, and that ring slides up and down. So slide it down and you can stick your skinny little pencil in there, and this will give you more leverage. Oh, that side's not gonna work for me, so I gotta go to the smaller side. That'll make it tight. So wow, you could really extend and get really light lights with this guy. Okay? If you guys are interested in getting a pack of this for yourself, let me know and I'll give you the link that I use. But for now, what was that? I can, but send me an email and I'll do it. Okay. Alright, so these are called tortillions. Everybody say tortillion? Tortillion.
Did you
And
say
over here we have standing pads for the tortillions. Okay? So let's go ahead and just on one of them, don't do this on both, but you can take the top piece of paper off, and underneath there is different stacks of standing paper. Now you can buy cheaper tortillas, and they aren't as tightly rolled as these ones are. And so the cheaper ones are just like kind of one and done. Once you've filled them up, you can't sand them down because they're actually hollow. Okay? But this tortilla is totally, you can see here, is not hollow. It's rolled up paper, like tissue paper, all the way to the core. Okay? And what these are blending sticks. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to go over how to use these best. And in order to use these best, I'm going to show you how to use them worst. Okay? So everybody go ahead and grab a bigger one and watch. I want you to notice a few truths. Just watch or you're going to ruin everything. I don't want you guys to do what's wrong. I'm about to show you what to do wrong. Don't do what I'm doing. Okay? This is what not to do. If I take all of this and I blend it this direction, notice how it took all of my values and it mixed it up and made it into one value. All my hard work just got eliminated with this tortilla. All of it. Goodbye. Forever. Gone. It mixes it up and it moves it around. But, oh man, and that sound like makes me nauseous. I hate it. I hate that sound and that feeling. I hate it. It's the worst. I'll get over it.
you shouldn't be using it yet? You should be watching.
So looking up here, I'm going to put this on autofocus. And you see it did two things. It mixed all my values together in an awful way, but it also made it buttery smooth. These are for making things smooth. Now something else you can do with them is see how my tip is dirty right there? I can actually just use that to lightly shade things. So I can use this as, because like it's going to be hard for me, even with a long pencil, to get anything that light. Okay? So you can actually use the tip of these, if they're dirty, to lightly shade. Okay? So when we use these, what we want to do is we want to go from light to dark. Okay? So make sure it's clean. And as you go, you want to just move it horizontally. Oh, you can't see. Thank you. You're going to move it horizontally and don't go backward. We're going to go from light to dark, and you can kind of use like scumble, which is kind of like circles the movement. Go nice and slow, and this is just kind of smoothing out all of your hard work so that it doesn't look too choppy. And you can also, there's lots of tortillas in here. You have to share them with your classmates. But I like to make one a dark side and one a light side. Does that make sense? That way I get one side that's really dark, and I can use the dark side in there and move it around. But again, I do like to go from light to dark. Okay? What was that? Yeah, you can use them. Go ahead and try it. Go light to dark, try to use them to smooth out what you've done. And it does kind of erase almost, so I'm going to go ahead and build back up my really dark darks here. And these are meant to go back and forth, okay? So, and you can even tap out areas as well. I'm going to go back to my light side, and I can flip around so that I'm not touching the side, the opposite side now. Just make sure that I've really smoothed out the light area. I'm scumbling, which means that I'm moving my pencil, or my, in this case, my blending stick, in circles, almost like you're mixing a pot. And I'm going to slowly get darker and darker.
That's better.
Does it look better?
Yeah.
Good. No blow dryers here. I'm recording for my next pass.
Alright.
That's okay.
There we go.
That's okay. Thank you. Okay, so the one big danger with blending stumps is it does make it look smooth. But do you guys remember the example where the whole thing got, all the edges got soft? It smooths everything out, so when you do contrast, it's a lot more difficult. So everybody look up here, please.
Everybody stop.
We're going to do
Eyes up
this
here.
one down here now. Remember, we're going to start with light, so if you don't have a light area, you can, let's wash one of these off, and I'm just going to gently, oh my goodness, you guys, the feeling of this is just awful. I hate it. And I'm just going to kind of sand it down until it cleans off all that graphite. Does anybody else hate this texture?
Yeah. Go.
Like, it's awful.
I don't like it.
I hate it more than like chalkboard. I don't mind chalkboard, y'all. This is awful. Okay, so now I've cleaned off my blending stump. And do I like to go from light to dark or dark to light? Light to dark. Now you guys, here's the deal. Everybody look right here. I'm going to show you what not to do. I'm going to show y'all what not to do. Everybody look. So this is the big danger with blending stumps. It's easy when over here it's just white paper next to it. You can't go wrong. But when you're blending this light area and you accidentally go into the dark area and then you bring it back, see how it's blurring that contrast? You do not want to blur your contrast.
Keep it
So
sharp.
don't go into the dark area. Go ahead and give that a whirl. I'm going to lighten mine back up with my eraser just by tapping.
So are we doing light?
We're working from light first, and then we're moving over to the dark. Okay? The reason you want to go light to dark is because if you go dark to light, you're going to pull all that extra graphite from the dark into the light, and all your lights are going to turn medium. So really make sure you do a good job with the lights before you progress into the darks area. Now you can also use this stick, it's not just to like kind of erase the texture, you can also push and pull the graphite to the left, to the right. Once you get one done, go ahead and turn your little circle or your tortillon around. You can, ooh, look at this, y'all. I put too dark in there. I had a messy tortillon. I should have erased it. I should have cleaned it up. So I don't want all that darkness. I'm going to re-sand and make sure I have a smooth, clean white surface to start with the lights. So don't try to take a dirty tortillon and put it into the area with light values. You're going to end up marking your paper. Now we're looking for crisp edges, y'all. It should not look like a bunch of fingerprints. It should look clean and crisp and specific. Okay? Now if you need to clean off your eraser, just use denim. Denim's great. Or like if you don't have denim, the canvas of your backpack can even work. And I'm just gonna lightly tap out things I don't like. So you lost a little bit of your contrast. So just make sure you can still see your line that separates. And if you guys, here, everybody look right here, I'm going to show you what to do if you lose your contrast. If you lose your contrast, like right here, I've just erased it basically with my tortilla. See how it got muddy in the middle right there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on one side of the line. But if you can't see the line, go ahead and get it in with the tip so you can see it, and then push one side out to make it darker, and then bring it back in on the other side. Okay? So you can use both your eraser and your tip, but it should not look like I can see a line. It should look like an edge. Just brought me cheese. Wow! How did you get such good cheese? I gotta take a picture of this. I was complaining at a thing that I didn't know what kind of cheese was what. And I didn't know what to buy. I didn't know what I liked. Sometimes I eat cheese and I think it's amazing. And sometimes I eat cheese and I'm like, this is disgusting. I'm never going to eat cheese again. I have no idea, so I'm going to take a picture and ask her what kind of cheeses you go on. Okay. Are you guys ready to put this into practice? You ready to do it? Okay. I'm going to come around and pass out some stuff for you. While I'm doing that, I'd like you to try to use the tortilla in the other areas of your worksheet. Remember, I want contrast where I need contrast, and I need smooth gradient where I have smooth gradient. And all 9 of those values should be seen everywhere. If your tortilla is turning all 9 of your values into 2 values, then don't use the tortilla. Okay?
How'd you
That
guys
is the thing that I see the most with kids, is they overblend, because it's kind of exciting. You get all buttery smooth, but they use it too much. Miss Reynolds is so sweet.
Spiders.
Maybe use a little bit of your eraser too to make it gradient a little bit more. Remember, your eraser is kind of like a blending stuff in and of itself. Now, the other great thing about these blending stuffs is they keep your fingers clean. Everybody look at the side of your hand right now.
Everybody look at the side of your hand.
See you, it's messy.
We're
You
all
want to be
messy.
careful when you start shading. You can use like a scrap piece of paper to cover up your marks. Now, what we're going to do for our practice, I went back and looked at all the things that we drew, and we need one more thing to draw. And I just got these bugs. So go ahead and try to draw this bug on that little piece of paper as large as you can. Okay?
Alright, you should have paper. You should have paper, a small piece of paper. You should have, everybody take 1 second and look at your pencil case. The H's are the lightest and the B's are the darkest. So you need to read the number before you use it. I would go ahead and get out your 4H for drawing because it's the lightest. You want light lines. Okay? So go ahead and take out your 4H pencil, boys. Look alive. Take out your 4H pencil. You're going to use that to draw your bug on your square piece of paper. Everybody got that?
Whoa, fancy.
Everybody has a bug. Get a bug. Everybody raise your bug above your head. Everybody has a little square white piece of paper. Get it from the middle. Everybody has it. Everybody has a 4H pencil. Draw the bug on the paper. Oh, then do 2H. Sorry, 2H.
Oh, 2H. I'm like, there is no 4H.
There's no 4H.
Wait,
Yes.
I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I'm sure it's like some like, what do you call it? Some kind of Italian word that I don't know. Tortellini. Okay, so let's go back to stage 1 of drawing. What do we do first?
What do you guys do first?
Nope. We observe.
You gotta observe first.
Get our bugs where we want them in the pose.
Position your bug where you're gonna have it.
Make it fill up this paper. So after we observe, what do we do? Big basic shapes.
That's
So
okay,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead
You
and
need to use
see
watercolor
here,
paper.
my
probably,
bug,
for that.
I'm going to do
That's okay.
the
You'll be
biggest shape, which is his butt booty. Okay, so I've got like the biggest shape here. Then I need to leave room for its antennas too, so I've kind of made it a wee bit smaller than I thought at first. Get that big shape, then I'm going to get the head. Now you guys, are we drawing a bug or are we drawing a toy of a bug? Toy. So if you do a really great job, this drawing will look like a toy. If you do a mediocre job, it'll look like a real bug. What are some of the things that make this thing look like a real toy bug versus a real bug? The texture, the lines, like how glossy the surface is. Okay, so just to start with these antennae, I'm just going to draw lines where I see the lines. And then I'll make those into shapes later. And remember, it's really, really smart to line things up and see the tallest antenna for me is this one. I'm comparing the tallest antenna to the antenna I'm currently drawing and seeing, okay, it's smaller than the longest one, but it's longer than this left one. So that can help you kind of by comparing. What do we call that? Anybody know? It's observation,
Scale.
but it's also perspective, your proportions. You're looking at the proportions of your drawing.
But scale means the same thing, so whoever said that, good job.
Well, I can still taste that cheese in my mouth. I wish you would have like put a little sign on each of them as to what kind of. Yeah, because I don't know what I'm eating. That's interesting.
That's why you get the toys, because feel the feeling of see-through.
Yeah. That's a good observation. Now this should also look three-dimensional. It shouldn't look flat. So careful with the curvature of your bug so that it starts to look. And the other thing about real bugs versus fake toy bugs, toy bugs are a little perfect. Like this line that goes down the back is like the perfect same width and diameter all the way down the body. Whereas like real bugs in real life, that it's not so perfect. It's not. Nature is always a little bit random. Now when you're doing legs, make sure like the back legs are lined up on a horizontal and the middle legs are lined up and the top legs are lined up. So, but my right side is squished, probably from the packaging, so it looks a little bit different on my right side versus my left side. Okay, so at this point I'm kind of more into the small shapes. We're sketching still. definitely want to compare the right set of legs to the left one and see which one's longer, which one's out like a wider angle. Feel free to erase if you need to. And geez, I just accidentally hit mine, which was a mistake, and now it's in a different spot, but whatever. Okay, so at this point you should have a drawing. Everybody see up here, I've got my drawing going on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean this drawing up. Remember, we want light lines. You can, I'm not using my 2H, but I would definitely be using the 2H. You guys notice how light those lines are? It's really helpful. Because how dark your lines are dictate how dark you have to shade to disguise them. And sometimes you might need light values in that dark. Mine look like little branches. These little legs. It looks like a good bug. I can see the wings and everything. That's great. If you have lines that are not important, you definitely want to clean this up as much as possible because your shading will interfere with your values. Or sorry, your lines, all those extra lines will interfere with your shading. So I'm just trying to erase and clean it up as best I can.
Right, technically a tool doesn't have shading.
Everything has shading because there's lights in this room.
But my bug doesn't have any shadow.
Now, you guys, there are two things that make things dark versus light. So one of the things that will make things darker is if there's shadow. Does that make sense? What else will make something a dark area on your bug? Anybody know?
Dark lines.
The light is shadow. Shadow and light. That's the first way. Huh? What? Yeah, Bailey, it took them forever. You're so smart. What color is it painted? Yeah, which kind of goes with what I said. Black is darker than brown. So if the light's not hitting it, there's going to be in shadow. It's going to make that area darker. But what else is going to apply to your bug, Gus? Yeah, you can add more shadow. Yeah. So creases and folds make more shadow. But what is something about your bug and the color or the value that has nothing to do with shadow? Yeah.
Natural color?
It's natural colors. What side of my bug is darker, the head or the body? The head is darker than the body. So the paint color of your bug is also going to affect how darkly you shade it. Can everybody look up here for 1 second? Hey, everybody's hands crossed. When I'm looking at this bug, I know that it's all black paint. Okay, and I know that all the paint is the same color black, but I can see huge areas of highlight, right? Inside of it because it's plastic. So the darkest areas here, and this is going to be like my number 1. Okay? But then these highlights over here might be more of a 3. Does that make sense to everybody? So we're kind of figuring out where those shadows are going to be and how dark they're going to be based on the paint color, but then also because of the texture. Does anybody else on my head, I have a smooth area right here in the middle, and the smooth area is darker. Are you guys noticing that? The more textured areas, it hits the light more, so it looks lighter. It's not actually that the color is any different, it's that the texture is different. So that's going to be important. So let's go ahead and let's jump in, y'all. What we're going to do is we're going to really observe. Everybody take a look and just start with the head. Whatever your bug is, let's start with the head. Okay? Let's observe where are the lightest areas, where are the darkest areas. You can look at your value scale and ask yourself, okay, what value is this from 1 to 9? Okay? I think on my head, I have maybe a 7 for the highlight. I have a 1 for most of it. And then I have like 3 and 4 for some of the lighter areas. Okay? So let's make sure that our edges are nice and crisp. We do not want it to look sketchy. We want it to look really crisp. Now all of these lines, our goal is to get rid of them. We have to eliminate every single one of these lines. And this might be the time for you to sharpen your pencils.
Wow.
Should we, for shading, should we say the Yeah, I like to start HB or 2B. If your colors are dark, you could start a little bit darker, but you just have to be a little bit more careful not to push too hard.
Have you squirt all that on?
It's one.
I do. Oh,
Yes, but you still have to squish it in.
Yeah, I did, and I'm not keeping this. It's just me sitting there seeing it for a while.
Yeah. All right.
I'm
That's cool.
Should I?
You should keep it and try glazing it. That'd be fun. Okay. Now, you guys, the darker I make my lines, the darker I have to shade to disguise them. So I'm going to go ahead and draw on here some shapes of shadow too. Sometimes that can be really good. You guys remember that guy that was doing the portrait of his dad?
the
And
stippling.
how he kind of blocked out his values to begin with. It's a really smart way of working. Yeah. Yeah. You can come back? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Ooh, I do not like that cheese. Now we're not just looking for different values, we're also looking, when we observe, for how is the light moving. Is it gradating really smoothly? Or is it kind of a quicker transition from dark to light? Is there high contrast or low contrast in the different values? Remember to use the side of your pencil. And your pink erasers inside of there, especially the little corners, the little crisp edges, that can help you.
And the little white ones, y'all. They're called Pentel white erasers. They're my favorite kind of eraser. FYI.
So remember, y'all, we need to make this look like there are no lines. That means you have to disguise the lines with value. The more you look, bless me, I'm about to sneeze. Oh my gosh. The more you look at your bug, thank you, not your blood. The more you look at your bug, the more it's going to look like your bug. Remember to start light and build up dark. And remember I told you guys I have a heavy hand? I tend to like to start with the darkest values first and then move to lighter values. But it's your own personal preference. Whatever, works for you is fine. Remember to use the side of your pencil, get it nice and smooth. And you guys, I would not start using the tortillon at all at this point. At this point, I would just start laying in your values. And then at the end, the tortillon's really for the final touches. Now, if you have a really light value that's really difficult for you to shade, you might use the tortillon to shade it just to help you get lighter values. Sometimes that is handy. Now you guys, after today, we really kind of We've dived into these different tools. For your journals, you could, after today's demo, start shading a page. Okay, we've practiced the skills and you're ready to go. So think about which of your journal pages you would like to use with graphite pencil.
Sorry about it.
Now, if you can, now this is difficult to do. This is a challenge. This is for the perfectionists among us. But does anybody else see little seams of plastic from the mold? If you can try to get those on your bug, that will make it look more realistic, like an actual toy. On my black bug heads, there's no white of the paper, y'all. In fact, I don't think there's maybe actually one value right here that I can maybe push to the white of the paper on my whole bug. My whole bug needs to be value, it needs to be shaded. Now, if you like tedious work like this is going to be fun for you. I can get lost in a shading like this for days, and I just have a party. I just love it, you guys. It's so much fun. Especially like if you have especially I would say for TV shows, like my favorite TV show to watch while I'm doing art is The Office. The Office. The reason I like to watch The Office is because I know it so well I don't have to look at it. You know what I'm saying? I've watched it so many times that I don't have to look up, I know exactly what's happening, and so I'm not so intrigued that I stop working. If I watch something I've never watched before you know it, I put my drawing aside and I'm not doing it anymore.
Is this safe for...
Now don't forget, you gotta be disguising these lines. Use that side of that pencil for sure. Now the cool thing about drawing is that nobody's going to be comparing your drawing to what you're seeing right now. So no one's going to know if it's right or wrong. But what they can do is they can look at it and decide if it's believable or not. Does that make sense? So not everything has to be in the exact same space or the same distance apart that it actually was in reality. You have a little bit of forgiveness when you're an artist because you're the only one that's looking at the reference.
Isn't that nice? How many of you guys enjoy tedious stuff like this? Shading? Yeah, me too. Finish the rest of the year, you'll be fine.
I've got 1/8 of mine done.
No,
If
artists
you've
are.
already finished, I guarantee you can find some more detail in there. Don't just, what you're describing, I don't know if it's true because I can't see your artwork, but that's what a lot of kids do, is they say, well, the head's black, I'm going to shade the whole head black. Yeah. But everybody look up here at the detail of
Everybody
what's
look.
happening. All of this detail inside of here, that's going to make this look more realistic. Okay? So you got to slow down. And I do like micro, like, look-ins. I'm just looking at this corner of the antenna. And then I'm just looking at the tip of this antenna. And I'm really zooming in so I can get as much detail as humanly possible. Okay? So this is the kind of tedious work I'm talking about. If you guys just sat down with your bug and you're like, here's the head and the antenna, and then you just went about shading all that in, number one, you're like, yeah, that's all black. Let's go. You're coloring with pressure. That's what you're doing. You got to be looking for how these values are constantly changing. Ask yourself, is this a contrast situation where it's going to need a lot of contrast, like on an edge, or is this like, you know, a situation where you need to lightly gradate?
That person is such a stomper. Can you hear that? Oh, 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 oh.
Get my bug.
Who's really enjoying shading? The two of us? Three of us? Three? One? Dude, I love me some tedious art. I do. I can't help it. I just love it.
I understand if this is something
Well, seeing the imperfections is a part of making them better. It's a part of learning and growing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I hate the whole drawing.
That's the problem. Can't hate the imperfections. You have to decide, okay, can I live with it or can I just fix it? That's all. Hi, dear. Thank you.
Get them anything, but I need to get it done tomorrow.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's just a little bit wet still. thing I like to do, you guys, I like to put my eyes out of focus while I'm doing this, so that I'm just like feeling it, really. I'm just kind of going with it. I could move a little bit faster here, I guess.
I'm waiting for all light issues, so we're going to process that.
Yes, and you can do that with your eraser.
Smooth.
Good. Start shading. That's a good job. Yeah. Nice. That's good. And you guys, you can draw with your eraser too. If you go too dark, you can always lighten up. That's what I'm about to do with mine. I just went too dark on my leg.
Alright, everybody check out Jaden's. You guys want to see Jaden's? Look how good that looks. So the only thing I can say to Jaden is darker darks, dear. Most of it's kind of in that middle gray range. Push it. Push it real good. Am I gonna go over there and find a white paper?
Most of it?
Me too, still. You have to be like, Shady's darker darks. You can bring it over here and I'll give you critique.
Show it.
So just be careful. If he doesn't want to, I won't. Just be careful that you keep it clean. But this is good. It's really crisp edges. Yeah, but you're going to build it up instead of pushing hard really fast. Try to keep it clean and not fuzzy, y'all. Don't let it get fuzzy. Don't wipe your hand over it. Keep those edges crisp. This is good. So, come here. So see, I will get like minuscule with your attention. So see how I see the direction of every mark you've made? Try to use the side of your pencil. I tried, but the area is going to I know. You can. Look, I'm doing it up in the air. I know I've been doing this a little bit longer. Just try to smooth it out by using the side of that pencil so that it doesn't look. Now right here, see how I lost that? You lost that line right here? So go back in with the tip. Get that edge. See that line? Then you gotta fade it out. So I'm gonna fade it to the dark side. That one's still is the line. Yeah. Well, that edge is good. Yeah. So that one was a little bit better than this one. I can still see that contrast. Does that make sense?
I just did lights with slight darks and
Yeah.
the edges.
And you can even, I can see, are these the lines of where the details are?
Yeah, I did the inner details of it.
Yeah, I think that's smart to do. You can even add some more in there. But in this area, I would take, like, see how you can see it looks almost scribbly. So I would
blend it out.
just, yeah, just blend it out a little bit. Remember, start light in this area. You have your lightest value in here. Do all the light areas first, and then go to the darker areas and do those areas. And then on top of that, do the line work. Oh, it's great. That's a great start. No, you're not doing bad at all. You're doing a great job. What's that? The value of the quality of the pencil that you're using, but really get a sharp tip. Make sure it's really crisp. So see how I'm holding it like I'm writing a pencil. Don't try to do the side of your pencil, your edges. Come back up as lightly as you can. Get that edge. Now you're going to clean it up. And now see how I have an outline. So I gotta disguise it. If you guys want help too, you can come over and show it to me. I'll give you hints. Ozzy, have a seat, dear. Alright, now you guys, this bug is going to be for a grade. Yeah, we practiced on our shading worksheet, and this bug is kind of like the quiz at the end of the day here. So, we're going to use the rest of the time. We have about 20 minutes left. Okay? Some
15.
people are coming over, mainly almost done. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on, we're gonna break out the big guns. Everybody have a seat.
I'm going to shut that one off. That's really all I've been teaching, but I will show you right now. I just finished my drawing from last period. So there it is, all done.
Whoa!
I'll bring it up close so you can see
That's
it.
so cool.
It's not focusing.
So the other class, why isn't it going into focus?
Maybe take it down a little bit.
There it
Oh,
goes.
there we go. That's cool.
That's so flipping cool.
So when I'm done, I'm going to flip it over and put my name and period on the back. You guys could do that now. That would be good. I did not use the tortillon once on mine. And that's really what like muscle control will look like on your drawings.